2 sentences a day. Okay, so make it really quick and easy so that you do it. And even if you only have 5 minutes to practice, you can still pick a goal and do one tiny little thing and see if you can get that one goal. All right? So, terrific. Let me tune your violin. So were you away this week?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was in Fire Island.
That's right. You look so cute. All right, so let's see. Let's start with your scale in the highway. All right, so before you start, just make sure your bow hold's ready, everything's ready to go. Too tight, so let's fix that. You did a great job staying in the highway. Now the next step, you don't want your bow to go this direction, because what happens is it's going to slide over the fingerboard. You want to try to keep all the horsehair flat on the string. Now that doesn't mean that the stick has to be straight up and down all the time.
Okay.
From here to the tip, it pretty much is. But from here to the end, the stick starts to tip away from you, and the hair is still on the string. That does 2 things. One, gets the weight up over the bow, so you don't get that, right? And the other thing it does is it allows you to play lower in the bow without hitting your hand on the strings of the violin. So from about here to here, you start to tip the stick. From here to the very bottom, you can actually tip the hair. But don't worry about that part right now. We're just going to worry about getting to here. Okay? So can you just play open A, start at the silver, point the stick away from you a little bit. It'll naturally, straighten itself out. And then by the time you get to about here, start to tip it away from you again. Like that. So the down bow is always easier. Relax your shoulder, bend your pinky. Good. See how it just straightened itself out? You didn't have to do anything. Tip. That's it. Now, you want the tip. That's a straight bow. Keep all the hair on the string. That's parallel to the bridge. Okay? Again. Straightens right out. Good. Keep all the hair on the string though. That's it. Now do you feel how, do you feel the angle of your bow? Okay, one more time. Great down bow. Okay, so you may, it's hard to practice that in front of a mirror because if you try, you need the mirror here and that's not going to give you that straight on view of your bow. And if you turn your head this way, your violin's going to shift and then your bow's going to chase your violin. But if you can find a way to position yourself in front of the mirror where you can see that, it could help a lot. But you're going to have to play with that. Okay? Because there's no perfect place to put you in front of the mirror. But see what you can do with that, because that's going to be the next step. So really getting that, what you're doing is you're trying to get a really consistent connection between the horsehair and the string. Okay. So wonderful, you're doing great. So we started to work on Etude a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Do you need more help with that today?
I don't know.
Okay. Can you start at the end? We're going to do the easy parts first. So we're going to start here. time. See if you can get that C natural. Go a little slower. Bum, bum. Perfect. That sounded like a much more successful tempo, and you got your C natural immediately. So that was great. Now we'll do the scales in the middle of the piece. Again, pick your tempo. Good. Alright, so with those two scales, you have to be really careful that on the A and the E string, these two fingers touch, but on the D string, these two fingers touch. So make your second finger really exaggerate. One more time. That was good. That one especially. Go a little slower so you can hear it. Yeah, the A and the E are the same.
Oh.
That's it. Even closer. Yes. Hear it? There you go. One more time on that section. Much better. Okay, you got it. Oh, I think Danny's, I don't know if he's just peeking in or if he needs you. So then the next thing with the bow is that nice staccato bow. That's it. Perfect. Hear how it rings at the end? Okay, beginning. And you're going to end with this part. Bum, bum. Easy. Mhm. That's no. Yes. Here it is. Good, stop. Just that much, okay? Try that much again, a little slower. And what's happening is you're trying to find the notes on the string crossings. Most of the notes that you had trouble finding are actually open strings.
Okay.
Right, so move your bow closer to the bridge. Go for it. You got a lot more of the notes that time. Let's do it together one more time. Ready? Go. So that's a much better tempo for you. Now the next part starts the same, but it ends with this. leave your first finger down, it helps. Yes. You got it. Okay? So, I know we did it out of order, but that's the entire piece.
Okay.
See how I did 4 big chunks? And you can break it down. You can do just 4 notes if you need to. Like, for instance,
But that's the whole entire piece?
that's the whole entire piece.
And then you just add the scales?
Well, we did the fourth part, then the third part, then the first part, then the second part. We just did it out of order, but that's the whole thing. So, for instance, these 4 notes, making those easy, or these. Okay. So, see if you can first of all sing it. I know this one's not a catchy tune like the other ones, but if you can sing it, then you know that you have it in your ear, and you know that you can get it out of your violin. And break it down into the smallest pieces you need to. You don't have to, play huge chunks all the time. You also don't have to play tiny chunks all the time. So it's like a puzzle. Big pieces, little pieces. You know how sometimes you put the border around first, and then you get the whole flower in the middle there, and then the whole teddy bear in the middle there. You know. So you can work on little chunks of the puzzle while you're putting the whole thing together. Same thing with your music.
Okay.
So that's Etude. Have you started working on Minuet 1 yet?
No.
Okay. So my goal for both of you is for you to at least know Minuet 1, even if it's not polished, by the time we start the first group class. So that's the next piece. And you've almost got Etude, both of you. All right? You know how to work on it. You know all the pieces of it. It's just you're doing the exact same thing. You're just putting Etude together. Isn't that kind of cool? It worked out really well. I didn't plan on that. So putting Etude together, and then at least knowing all the parts of Minuet 1 and knowing the bowings for it and the repeats and all that stuff, so that when you're at group class, you know what I'm talking about when we start working on the minuets. And of course, you'll fly right through them, as the year goes. So. The group class is basically minuets through book 2.
Okay.
For the beginning of the year. So there's going to be a lot of pieces that you don't know, which is okay, because if you can really take one thing from each piece that you aren't playing in group class each week and try to remember it, by the time you get to that piece, you're going to learn it so much easier than the kids who didn't get to see somebody else play it before they learned it. All right, so whether it's bowing along, or finding a new finger pattern, or listening to the dynamics, or anything like that. The articulation, the repeats. Sometimes the repeats are the hardest thing. So that kind of thing. All right, so I think I'm going to have both of you do the up-ups in Minuet 1 this week. Okay? You have 2 groups of 3 notes. You can handle 6 notes, right? You can handle 6 notes? Okay. Good. First one is easy. It's all the same note. But it's the bow I'm interested in. I'm actually interested in 2 things. Ringing tones. So watch my bow one more time. I know you've done this before, but... Good. Now what I'm getting pickier and pickier about, and I may not have been as picky when you first learned this piece, I'm very picky now, the second note. Listen to how uneven this is. You didn't do it quite like this, don't worry.
Yeah, I realized that. But
Yeah. Oh good, you heard yourself. It wasn't like that. I mean, there was just a little stop. That's very common, and I want to try to make all 3 of them sound like the same length quarter note. Oh, gorgeous. I love that sound. So then once that one's easy, you've got your ringing tone, you've got the even quarter notes, you've got the bowing. You do the same thing with the bow, different notes. There it is. not as slur, still enough up.
Okay.
Good, so that the up is even. Okay? So those are the 2 spots to practice in Minuet 1. If you get further than that, great, because you've learned this whole piece before. If that's as far as you get this week, that's fine.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that that bowing is easy because you have, right? And they're all the same, down, up bows. So if you can get it in Minuet 1, you know how to do it in all 3 minuets. Okay? And just evenness, ringing tones, and the bowing itself. All right? Good. So, anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have the I Can Read music book here?
Yeah.
Could you grab that, please?
At least I think I do. No.
Do you have that book yet?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
You do? I can read music?
Did you bring it with you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that. We have that.
You do?
I'm pretty sure.
This is the good stand, right?
Okay.
All right.
Whatever she says is probably right.
So, how are you? I know in school you've been doing a lot of music reading. How are you at reading music without finger numbers?
Good.
Pretty good?
As long as it's not like a real long piece.
Right. Okay. So, and rhythm? Okay.
That was good.
So what I'd like to do is pick and choose which lessons for you to work on in this. Alright, so I'm going to have you work on, let's write these down. These are going to be sort of review, but it's going to give me an idea of what we need to do with this, okay? So, what's today?
It's the 19th.
Okay. So, I can read music. You'll know what that means, right?
Yeah.
So lessons 10, that covers the A string. Okay, and then you have a 3/4 time, it's 3 rhythms. I mean, how easy could that be, right? Where are we? Okay, lesson 21. Oh look, it's already started. So what this does is all the notes on the A and the E plus dotted and tied rhythms. Okay, and this is really important when we get there. Then we'll work on the D string. Alright, we'll do 27 because of the rhythm as well, okay? And then 36. Oh wait, no, not 36. Before 36. 34. Oh, and that one's circled too.
I think that's where you wanted me to stop before.
Oh, okay. Did you do those?
No.
Oh, okay. And you can go all the way up to 39. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're easy. Don't spend more than 5 minutes a day on these.
Okay.
Alright? So, anything that you're having trouble with, can you circle the the number? And those are the ones that we'll focus on first, and that will give me an idea of if we need to fill in anything in between these.
Okay.
Okay? And if all of that's easy, we'll do 40 through 50, just one at a time. Alright? Because that's where they start to get a little more complicated.
Okay.
And then we'll go on from there. Just for fun, can I hear line 4? This is A and E strings.
Just make it sure I remember all these. Okay.
Now, I was going to say one thing that you can do at home, and you can even do here, sing the note names first,
Okay.
right? Go for it. And if you need to sing it down a notch, if you can, A, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
And if you're not sure what the note sounds like, you can pluck it on your violin. F what?
Sharp, F sharp, A,
G what?
G sharp, F sharp, C sharp, D, F sharp, F sharp.
You're right the first time. Yeah. Your voice, you hit the note right away.
B, C sharp, C sharp.
Okay, go ahead and play it. And your shoulder rest is right here. Love shoulder rests. Okay, point your scroll at the edge of the page. There you go. Is that G or G sharp? Wonderful. Does it help to have something to get your eyes looking one note ahead of your...
I know.
Does that help at all? You don't know? For me, it really helps if my eyes look one note ahead of what I'm playing. It took me a while to train myself to do that. I needed somebody to actually point to the note ahead so that my eyes would remember to go there. Because otherwise I'd be staring at the note that I was playing. I get to the next one and go, oh. So if you need that for a few days, that's
Okay.
fine. And then the rhythm. So you can use your blue gel first. Let's just do the second one. So it's blue, 2, and that's a 3. Very easy. All right. So the only suggestion I have is be careful you don't keep the beat with your violin. Okay? Terrific. Take a bow. Thank you. So your goal is to find how big or small the pieces need to be in order to make it successful to learn the piece. Okay? Terrific.
So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, shoulder rests. Stella, can I sneak